So this is my first ever vlog. I've never done this before, but I figured this would be a great way to kind of jump back in to YouTube and show you all what has been going on in my life and just the updates that are happening around here at Untitled Thoughts as a business, as well as going on with me as an author. So right now it is like 5:40 in the morning. I've been up since at least 4. Actually got up and I journaled a little bit, which was really good, and I really enjoy doing that, but I don't usually find the time for it. So it was really nice to kind of take that time out and just pour everything that has kind of been, running a loop in my mind all night onto the page. So I guess I should start with some updates on life. I know it has been years since I have been here. My last video dropped in like 2022, 2023, something like 3 years ago. I was going through a lot of health issues for a while, and then after that, things just in life just got a little bit wild. We have been steadily working on my husband's family home. Last year, we took the time to go up quite a few times and steadily clear things out, donate things, sell things, take some things home with us that have sentimental value. And so that was just last year was really, really busy. And then with the medical stuff in the years before, which I still don't have fully under control, but we're getting better each and every day, getting better, just learning to live with, chronic illness, chronic pain. So some other things that have happened include my shift away from pattern making. This is a really bittersweet one for me because I absolutely adore the sewing community. It has been a part of my life for over 15 years. I have been sewing since I was, oh my gosh, at this point it might be like 20 years. I think that I've been sewing since I was like 13 or 14. Just turned 34. So yeah, it's been a really interesting challenge shifting my business away from pattern making, and just all the iterations that my business has even gone through is kind of wild to me. I used to run, sew all of these garments and sew them to local shops, and then I went into alterations, and then I did custom bridal gowns, and then I found my way to pattern making, and I really thought that I had found the thing that I was so good at and really loved. However, with all of the medical stuff and the chronic pain, I have found that my body just cannot handle sewing at the extent that it used to. I cannot sit at a sewing machine for the time that is required to draft a pattern, to create a new pattern. I can't even really do how-to tutorial videos anymore. It's just way too demanding on me. So I think, when was it? It was in 2024, I believe, that I decided to shift away from pattern making. I have not released any new patterns in the past couple of years, even though new pattern designs come to me all the time. It's ridiculous. I have a running log of patterns that I would love to design one day, maybe. But I decided to shift away from that into book selling, which is another part of it's kind of like my lore, my origin story. I wanted to be an author when I was really, really young. I had started writing my very first novel right before the hurricane took our house. And it was loosely based off Sailor Moon because I was obsessed with that when I was a kid. And so it was about teens who discover that they have powers, and who doesn't love that? So I recently rediscovered in the past couple of years this love for storytelling that I completely forgot about. Just this love for fictional worlds and the beauty and just all of the power that goes into the written word. And in 2024, I released my very first novel. My very first novel was published. And so, yeah, I'm really excited about that. And along with that came me shifting gears towards focusing my business primarily on books and selling books and all the things that make me happy when it comes to books and bookstores. So officially, I am a bookstore. I'm an online bookshop, and I have been doing that for the past 2 years or so, and it has been really rewarding. I'm finding my limitations with it. Again, my body can only handle so much, so I am feeling it out as I go. I'm figuring it out, but it has been really rewarding nonetheless. So yeah, that's kind of the update as far as business goes. And then for me as an author personally, I have written that first book. And if you haven't heard of it, it's called A Daisy and Lily's Valley. And it's all about a young woman who absolutely loves to bake, but she has celiac. And she also works for her family-run bakery underneath the domineering presence of her mother. So think like The Devil Wears Prada, those type of vibes between Andy and Miranda meets the Great British Bake Off, like all the comfort and coziness of that with a sprinkling of Kiki's Delivery Service. So if that catches your fancy, feel free to check it out. I am obsessed with this book. I love the characters. I had so much fun writing it. As a first novel, it just kind of poured out of me. It wasn't perfect. There was a lot of starts and stops, but overall, that experience was really, really fun. And so, of course, I had to go in for a second one. This one, I'm currently writing my second novel right now. It is ridiculous. It is so different from the first novel in so many ways, just in the writing and how challenging it has been to get it on the page and how complex this main character is, just like trying to get her voice across because she's so different from me, but she's also not in ways. It's really weird. It's such a interesting dichotomy. Anyway, I'm super excited about it. I've been working on it nonstop for the past 4 months, even though it has been an idea in my mind for the past 2 years. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So, with all that said, I thought that I would take you all on a kind of day in the life, of what it is that I'm up to now, what it is that I'm doing each day and how my life is looking right now, and just to kind of give you a flavor of, what you can come to expect from this channel moving forward. I do hope to be posting videos more and just connecting more with this sense of community online, because I have really missed it. I've really missed it so much. And I went through everyone's comments recently and I tried to reply to every single one of them. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all so much for, being patient as I've been gone for the past couple of years. But yeah, let's get into it. So I have gotten lots and lots of work done today. In fact, I've almost written 2,000 words, which not all of it was actually written today. A lot of it was a flashback that I am bringing back. I had written this a couple months ago, actually last year, and I am bringing that back. However, I don't know if I've already written this flashback in elsewhere in my story because this manuscript is so massive. I finally put all of my chapters together. So right now, or before this, all of my chapters they're separated because I find, at least with writing my first novel, it was much easier to figure out like where certain things were based on chapter, because eventually I memorized where the like major building blocks were for each chapter. It makes it easier for me editing wise to have everything separated. However, I wanted to get a good idea of how many pages this manuscript currently is, as well as if my word count was accurate. And it was. My word count was very close. I was only 100 words out. My word count is at 101,914 words, which I know that's a lot. It's huge. And I'm looking at a board over here, and that's how much story is left. But this is also reading at 297 pages, which isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. So this is just me being in Times New Roman, font 12, and you know, that's not so bad. So I'm super excited about the progress that I've made today. Yeah, this is really great. I'm glad that I've written so much, and I can't wait for this next scene. It's a very not a pivotal scene, but it is one that I've been kind of like noodling with for the past couple of months, so I'm excited to get into that. However, the rest of my day is pretty packed, so I don't think that I'll be writing for the rest of the day. I am going to go visit a friend. We are having a picnic, a belated birthday picnic for me, which I am very excited about. I also have to go get groceries, and then I am meal prepping for the rest of the week. And this is mainly just something that I do because I find it so much easier if meals are already accounted for and I don't have to think about them, then I can stay in that zone of creativity a lot longer. And my focus isn't being pulled into the direction of like, oh, well, what are we going to eat today? But who knows? Maybe I'll come back to writing this afternoon. We shall see. So before I head off to the grocery store, I was thinking that I would just give you all a tour of our garden because it has been such a long time and we are doing so many things in the garden. It's almost too many, always too many. So yeah, I thought I would just do that. So this is our front yard garden, and we recently had to replace, there's 4 of these L-shaped boxes, and we recently had to replace them because they were completely falling apart. They were made with like much thinner wood, probably like this thin maybe. And after, we've been in this house since 2018. After that many years, they finally fell apart. And so we just finished replacing that one over there. As you can see, we still need these 2 boxes replaced and a lot of weeding of the path, which is honestly a never-ending task. We also have a lot of brambles, wild blackberries over here that need dealing with. And honestly, this is just kind of like a mess. I tried my best to, do a deep mulching method over here, and you can see clearly where I stopped because it's like no excess plant growth, too much plant growth. Last year we added a supporting trellis wire. It's chicken wire on boards that's attached to the house, and this is our muscadine, and honestly I absolutely adore it, especially when it's all grown out and filled with berries or fruits. It's so nice. Now this is our side garden, and I'm gonna ignore that side for now because it still has a lot of work to do. I mean, this side does too, but it's come a long way. So last year I found a copper-headed snake over here, and it was really because there was an invasive overrun of stilt grass in this area that I have taken all winter long to kind of like tear out, and then we are slowly adding cardboard boxes, mulch, and then we're getting soil delivered tomorrow. So hopefully, I mean, by the time this video goes out, these beds should be filled and then mulch should be down as well. And I'm just excited for how this is all turning out. This is our strawberry garden, and we have definitely harvested lots and lots of strawberries in the past. One year we got like, I don't know, at least 6 pounds of berries from here. Now heading into the backyard, We just mowed, so it's looking a little bit cleaner. Our pond area, which again, another area that's just overrun with so much stuff that needs to be dealt with and will get dealt with eventually. I finally purchased a greenhouse, and I'm so glad that I did. This has come in handy so much in the past year, mainly in just propagating seeds and plants. And it's a little bit messy right now, but we have all these elderberries growing from cuttings, all these fig trees that I'm trying to find homes for. Our lemon seems to be very happy here, and then a bunch of just random seedlings. Now, this area has definitely undergone such a big transformation over the years. Since we had like in-ground beds before, we had a different layout before, years prior, and now we have these beautiful black beds that we did. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it is a Japanese style burning and oiling technique that keeps this preserved for longer. I'll link it as soon as I can find it. But right now, yeah, I mean, look at that light. This is one of my favorite areas to look at, especially now that all the stuff is mowed in between. But we have plans to grow a bunch of stuff back here. Right now we have garlic growing, lots of carrots, lots of cauliflower. I planted 30 cauliflower just to see what would happen, and my gosh, it is blooming. And then we just built this bed back here as well, and this is going to be a flower bed. I put sunflowers in, but we need a lot more soil. Yeah, so this is our backyard garden so far. Another little vantage point. I just love this area, and it's come along so well, even though there's so much left to do. Like, all of this over here is that invasive stilt grass, so this area needs to be covered with cardboard and deep mulched eventually. The back, our forested area, has so much stuff that needs to be done as well. But right now we are focusing on this brand new bed that we just outlined in logs. We had trees that had fallen, and then we felled one tree as well to create it, and we're going to cover it, sheet mulch it, and put on a bunch of soil and plant some things. So we have our plum tree here, and then 2 elderberries over here. And we're gonna do the same around this plum tree as well with the logs. As you can see, we just started, but we haven't finished. So yeah, honestly, after writing, the garden is like my top priority. I fancy myself a baby conservationist, and we're really trying to transform our backyard into, you know, something that benefits us, but also benefits the wildlife around us. We have a lot of wildlife, especially with the forest right behind us. I've seen deer, you know, there's rabbits, we see hawks, we hear owls, and I've seen turtles. The turtles are always really cool, and we just want to make it like as friendly to them as it is for us. So we're trying to balance, you know, having wild areas and then also having cultivated areas, while also trying to get rid of invasive species, which is a task, let me tell you. And it's so interesting because I find that I love to write about things that I'm highly interested in. So with my current novel, this actually all plays really well together, in that my main character is a conservationist. Like, she actually went to school for it, and she's currently tasked with working on 10 acres of land, and she's literally at the stage where she's trying to tackle invasives, and she's struggling because she's trying to do it on her own. That's her fatal flaw, honestly, trying to do everything on her own. I wonder who that sounds like. But so it's just really cool to kind of like experience things through her eyes, and then also be working on projects in the same light that she is. Yeah, and so hopefully this weekend when my friends come over to help, you know, things will get done, and it won't just be me and Arlen doing everything ourselves, and we can make headway on things. And yeah. Mr. Carson, do you want to come outside? Yeah, you want to come outside, don't you? You got to stay in there. You're gonna eat the birds. Oh my goodness, you silly boy. woke up at 4 a.m. I am way ahead of schedule, and so I am about to get started with some meal prep, and I am very excited about this. I have really wanted to get into this for quite some time. So yeah, let's just get going. Just got back from having a really beautiful picnic lunch with my friend. We did it for my birthday, and it was just so wonderful, and the weather was deceptively beautiful at the start of everything. However, tell me how, when the sun came out, it did finally come out and it got really hot in the 80s with no cloud coverage. Tell me how I burnt my knees, and not the whole knee, but the inside of my knees. Like, tell me how that happened, because it does not compute, does not comprehend. I also am just now realizing that half my face is sunburnt. Other than the sunburnt knees and the sunburnt face and some sunburnt arm, I definitely want to say that today was super productive. Got a lot done. I feel really good. I think a lot of that has to do with having woken up at 4 in the morning. So hopefully I will get to sleep really early tonight. But yeah, today was really awesome. I wrote about 2,000 words this morning. Got to go on a picnic with my friend, did groceries, meal prepped for the next couple of days. Like, our fridge is so stocked and it is wonderful. Like, the stress levels wafting off. Anyway, I hope that you all enjoyed this little day with me. It's something new, like I said, that I'm trying, and if you all like it, I will definitely try some more. And I just hope that in general, you guys enjoy the content, the new direction that I'm taking everything in, the new direction that I'm kind of like focusing on in my authorship and with my bookshop and everything. And then yeah, I'm sure that sewing content will make its way back on here, as well as just like general art content and gardening. I mean, I got to take you on a tour of the garden, which was fantastic. So I hope that if you're interested, feel free to like, subscribe, whatever. And yeah, I'll see you next time.